Hello again. It's been a lovely sunny day today, and I've really enjoyed reading a good book out here in my garden. I thought I would stay here and read the next chapter of our Charlotte's Web story, so you might hear a few birds tweeting in the background. But this is chapter 12, and it's called A Meeting. One evening, a few days after the writing had appeared in Charlotte's Web, the spider called a meeting of all the animals in the barn cellar. "I shall begin by calling the roll," Charlotte said. She's talking about the register there. "Wilbur?" "Here," said the pig. "Gander?" "Here, here, here," said the gander. "You sound like 3 ganders," muttered Charlotte. "Why can't you just say here? Why do you have to keep repeating everything?" "Well, it's my idiosyncrasy," replied the gander. An idiosyncrasy is something a bit unusual that you do that perhaps most other people don't do, like what you're known for or you're special for. "A goose," said Charlotte. "Here, here, here," said the goose, and Charlotte glared at that repetition. "Goslings, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Beep, 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 beep," the goslings replied, for that was all they could say. "This is getting to be quite a meeting," said Charlotte. "Anybody would think we had 3 ganders, 3 geese, 21 goslings. Huh." She carried on with the roll call. "Sheep." "Baa," said the sheep together. "Lambs." "Here," answered the lambs all together. "Templeton." But at this there was no reply. "Templeton." Still no answer. "Well, we are all here except the rat," said Charlotte. "I guess we can proceed without him. Now, all of you must have noticed what's been happening these last few days. The message I wrote in my web praising Wilbur has been received, and the Zuckermans have fallen for it. So has everybody else. Zuckerman thinks Wilbur is an unusual pig, and therefore he won't want to kill him and eat him. I dare say my trick will work, and Wilbur's life can be saved." "Hooray!" everybody cried. "Well, thank you very much," said Charlotte. "Now, I called this meeting in order to get suggestions. I need new ideas for the web. Some people are already getting sick of reading the words, 'some pig.' If anybody can think of another message or a remark, I will gladly weave it into the strands of the web. Any suggestions for a new slogan?" she asked. "How about Pig Supreme?" suggested one of the sheep. "That's no good," said Charlotte. "It sounds like a really rich dessert." "How about Terrific, Terrific, Terrific?" asked the goose. Well, if we cut that down to just 1 terrific, that will do very nicely," said Charlotte. "I think terrific would impress Zuckerman." And with an illustration there of the meeting taking place. "But Charlotte," said Wilbur, "I'm not terrific." "That does not make a particle of difference," replied Charlotte. "Not a particle. People will believe almost anything they see in print. Now, does anybody here know how to spell terrific?" I think," said the gander, "it's..." Now pay attention to this. You'll have to let me know if it's right. "I think it's TEERRRIFF CCCCCCC. "Well, what kind of acrobat do you think I am?" said Charlotte. "What do you think? Was that the right spelling?" "I'd have to do St. Vitus's dance to weave a word like that into my web." Sorry, said the gander. Then the oldest sheep spoke up. "I agree there should be something new written in Charlotte's Web if Wilbur's life is to be saved. And if Charlotte needs help in finding words, I think she could get that help from our friend Templeton. Now, he visits the dump regularly, and he has access to old magazines. He could tear up bits of magazines, bits of advertisement, and bring them up here to the barn cellar, so that Charlotte's got something to copy." "Good idea," said Charlotte, but I'm not sure that Templeton will be happy to help. He is always looking out for himself, never thinking of the other fellow." "I bet I can get him to help," replied the old sheep. "I'll appeal to his baser instincts, of which he has plenty. Here he comes now. Everyone, keep quiet while I speak to him. The rat entered the barn the way he always did, creeping along close to the wall. "What's up?" he asked, upon seeing the animals assembled. "We are holding a directors' meeting," replied the old sheep. "Well, break it up," said Templeton. "Meetings bore me." And the rat began to climb a rope that hung from the wall. "Look," said Old Sheep. "Look, next time you go to the dump, Templeton, bring back a clipping from a magazine. Charlotte needs new ideas so she can write messages in her web and save Wilbur's life." "Oh, let him die," said the rat. "I shouldn't worry about that." "Well, you'll worry all right next winter," said the sheep. "You'll worry all right on a 0 morning in January, when Wilbur is dead, and nobody comes down with a nice pail of warm slops to pour into your trough. Wilbur's leftover food is your chief source of income. You know that, Templeton. Wilbur's food is your food, so Wilbur's destiny is closely linked with yours. If Wilbur is killed and his trough stands empty day after day, you will grow so thin we'll be able to see through your stomach." Templeton's whiskers quivered. "Maybe you're right," he replied gruffly. "I'm making a trip to the dump tomorrow afternoon. I'll bring back a magazine clipping, if I can find one." "Thanks," said Charlotte. "The meeting is now adjourned. I have a busy evening ahead of me. I've got to tear my web apart and write terrific." Wilbur blushed. "But I'm not terrific. I'm just an average pig." "Well, you're terrific as far as I'm concerned," replied Charlotte sweetly, "and that's what counts. You're my best friend, and I think you're sensational. Now, stop arguing and go to sleep." So that's the end of the chapter, and we're going to leave it there. Just a short video today. But the next video will have chapter 13, which is called Good Progress. I hope you enjoyed that part of the story, and maybe see you again for the next chapter. Bye for now.